Most truck drivers don't quit driving in their first year because they can't drive. They quit driving because they don't expect the little traps. Whenever they get there, they realize this is not what it is. There's mental traps, there's financial traps, there's a lifestyle trap. And whenever they realize that, a lot of people, whenever they realize all of this, and they've been going and trying to battle this without knowing it, they quit. Listen to this video, because I'm going to go over a few things that you need to be watching for and how it can make it a lot more easy or easier for you to be successful and stay in truck driving. Truck driving is not a bad career. I've made pretty good money at it. If you've not seen me before on here, I've been driving for nearly 30 years. Right now I'm doing a flatbed. So the first biggest trap as far as that goes, and talking about money, is the money expectations. A lot of people get into driving a truck and they think they're going to make all of this money that their friends that they've talked to have made that's been in driving for years. Whenever you first start driving, your first year is really, really tough. You have school to go through. Whether you pay for it or not, it takes time. Then once you get out of school, you get a job somewhere, and then you have to be with a trainer. Some companies require you to be with trainers 6 weeks or maybe a couple of months. So there's 3 to 4 months right there that really and truly you're not making very much money out of the first year. And then once you get on your own with a company, the dispatchers or driver managers or whatever, they don't know whether to trust you or not fully as far as your capabilities of getting from point A to point B and how fast you can do it. So they're not going to really load you up on a lot of miles, combined with newer drivers get lower pay per mile. That's the way most of trucking companies pay, is per mile. So with all of that combined, the first year is really tough. You have to look at it like, the full first year is pretty much just training. You're getting paid it's paid training, on-job training. As you learn more of your trip planning, and you're able to get from point A to point B quicker, and you're able to keep this left door shut, and you understand how to maneuver around traffic and towns and the times you need to drive through towns and things like that, where you can pick up more speed and get miles faster, that's going to increase your pay because you get more miles. And after a year, most companies increase your pay per mile. That's really big. The larger companies, they just start you at a minimum to make sure you're going to be able to do this job. So you can't get frustrated at it. Just take your time and work through it. If you know you can run more miles, get with your supervisors, your driver manager, whatever, and say, hey, I need more miles. Give me a shot so I can do this. There's no harm in asking. That's the big thing. As far as the raises, they're usually time-based. The longer you're with the company or the more experience you have, the more money you'll make per mile. I work on percentage base, so the better the loads pay, the more I make. You can look at different ways. You can get percentage base, you can mileage pay, or you can get hourly pay. A lot of local jobs are hourly. So you may want to look into that. But don't be afraid to ask for more miles. And if they don't give them to you, be patient. They will come. But you just have to be patient and do your job. If you get places early, if it's possible to get there early, safely, get there early. If you can get unloaded early, get unloaded early. Call in or message them or whatever their deal is, as far as communication. Make sure they know you're empty and you're ready to go. If they have a little bit of motivation about you, they're more likely to give you more trips, better trips. If you can get longer runs, I like longer runs. If you can get longer runs, then that's more miles right off. If you get a 1,700 mile run, Yeah, there you go. That's a good start for a week, and then maybe you can pile something on top of that behind it. Another trap is the lifestyle change. It's like a shock. It's a lifestyle shock. A lot of people that get into driving, it doesn't matter what your age is. A lot of people that get into driving, whether you're 21 or 51. My sister got her license, I think, at 54. So it's a lifestyle shock. I mean, it's a change. I've been in it, since I was 24, and my stepdad and a lot of his friends before that, I could see what they were doing. I had a little bit of knowledge about it. Going and staying gone in a truck a lot is not for everyone. You're going to live in a box. I mean, it's not very big, but you're going to live in a box. If you're over the road, you're going to be gone possibly, 2 or 3 months at a time with some companies, especially if they paid for your schooling. They're going to want to get the most bang for their buck and their, return on investment. So they're going to try to keep you out and get you to produce more revenue. If you're like regional, a lot of regional drivers I know, they stay out a week and then they're home on the weekends, or maybe stay out 2 weeks and then home, And a lot of times it's like most of these companies, they give you a day off for every week that you're gone, a day to a day and a half. There just varies which one you get, but it's a real lifestyle shock to be in a truck, for weeks on end sometimes, or a few months, and a lot of people can't handle it. You need to figure out what you can or cannot handle and get a job accordingly. If you know you don't want to be gone for weeks at a time or months at a time, then you need a job where you can be around more. It's harder to get the local jobs, and some regional jobs are harder to get, but it's still possible. It's not the end of the world. You just have to look and find them. Just a little research. If you're just now in school or going to school or planning on, while you're in the school, a lot of times the trainers will take 3 or 4 guys in a truck and you go driving around to get you, some practice at driving. And sometimes they'll stop at truck stops. If you see drivers from the company that you want to work for, go up and talk to them. Ask them questions. Ask them how long they've been there, how much they're making, how many miles they run, what's the dispatcher and supervisors like? What's the company like overall? Ask them, and don't ask just 1 or 2, ask 4 or 5, 6 if you can. And that way you get a better view of the overall company. Because, if you ask 2 here and 2 there, everyone's got their different opinion. So ask several different people if you can. And if if you even have to get in your car to go to the truck stop and, run up on a driver inside, and they're willing to talk, ask them. Most of them will tell you about their company, especially if they like it. And they try to get a, recruiting bonus, a lot of bonuses if you can. So just think about that. Most time it's a day off for every week you're out. And a lot of companies have a cap on that. Worked with one that had a 5-day cap, so I'd stay out 5 weeks. I'd take 5 days off. That's like a month. That's like a vacation every month to me. A lot of this loneliness that you have in the truck, it's hard to deal with. A lot of people be driving down the road and they be bored, they get sleepy, whatever. If you have friends that you can call them and talk to them. This is what you need to talk and drive down the road. Something like this or similar to it. I'm not endorsing a certain product, but this has a boom, noise canceling, one ear covered. You can't cover both of them. That's DOT or federal regulations. You don't need to cover both of them. That's just a little snippet for you. If you're getting bored or lonely driving down the road, find somebody to talk to. It makes it a lot easier. It's not just, terrible, especially if you have some friends that you can talk to and just, interact with some, because, most of the time you're in the truck by yourself. The 4th reason a lot of drivers quit is because, to be honest, a lot of times we're treated like crap. It doesn't matter if it's the dispatchers, if it's the supervisors, if it's the shippers, the receivers, the people driving down the road, whether it be truck drivers or people in cars, they just hate us. Sometimes it seems like. I know they don't hate us. It's just, we seem to be in their way. So the disrespect is hard to deal with also. Your dispatcher, you call your dispatcher, they may be having a bad day, or maybe you just screwed up the last time on a load, and they're just a a-hole to you. You know what? It is what it is. Move on to the next load. They'll chill out. You do a good job on the next one and move on. Same thing with your supervisor. Shippers and receivers, once you get there, say you're loading something and you're waiting in line to load, it's taking forever, and you go in there, man, what's the problem or whatever, and they just get all hateful with you, that's fine. Just, be nice, go back to your truck, sit and wait. Because if you're rude to them, it's just going to take that much longer. That's shippers and receivers, whether you're loading or unloading or whatever. You just, part of the game, I guess you could say, you just have to deal with it in a professional manner and as best you can. So don't overthink it. Don't overthink all of this. It's really gets on you if you just constantly thinking about it and get aggravated that easily, and this person don't like me, or that person don't like me, or why am I doing this? Just calm down, get you someone to talk to on the phone, and just talk about life in general, something other than trucking, and that's just relax. That's the biggest thing. Stay calm, as calm as you possibly can. If you need a break from the road that day, or the shipper or the receiver that day, take you a break. I mean, seriously, there's nothing, it's not the end of the world. This stuff will get there when it gets there. I know you need to be on time, and I'm always on time, barring traffic or weather or truck breakdown. I'm always on time, and I still will pull over occasionally and take a break. Have to walk around the truck. Somebody's called you on the phone that's upset you or whatever. Family, emergencies, family problems, friend problems, whatever problem it is. You got to stop. Literally stop the truck. Don't drive whenever you're so emotionally, just because all of this stuff, it'll burn you out. And then that's whenever it happens. Drivers, especially new drivers, go through all this, and I've gone through it before too. You go through all of this and you just get burnt up, and you're like, why am I doing this? I'm ready to quit. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Bye. And there's a lot of drivers that'll quit within, first 6 months. I encourage you to push through that. Learn how to deal with, the rudeness, the being alone, the low pay, and it'll get better. Trust me, it will get better, because I've been through it, and there's a lot of other drivers that's been through it. Hopefully they'll comment below that, what they've went through their career, no matter how long they've been doing it, whether it's a year or 5 years or 20 years, because you can get through it. This is not that bad of a job. But be sure, ask as many questions as you can throughout this process. Whether you're getting your license in school now, whether you're in your first year, heck, if in your first 5 years, I still ask questions for other drivers that, things that I pull up somewhere to load. I'm like, hey, what's the deal here? How's it work? And most people, they'll talk to you. They'll give you little hints what you need to do back and forth and everything. So it just makes it easier on you. Another way to really cover your butt in trucking, this is just kind of a random thought. Whenever you're talking to a recruiter, tell them what you want. You want home time? Tell them. You want to make the maximum amount of money? Tell them. You get it all in writing. If they say, oh yeah, you can run here or run there, or you're going to make this much or that much, get it in an email or a text message or something. Get it in writing. Get everything in trucking in writing. If you're on the phone with someone, dispatcher, supervisor, or recruiter, record the call. If they don't want it recorded, say that's fine, we'll hang up. You can email me all of the information. That way you have it in writing or a recording. You just tell them you're going to record it. I've never had anyone tell me that it's, you know, that big a deal. And legally, it just covers your butt. That's the big thing. Cover your butt. Tell them what you want. Tell them what the money that you want. All the way through this, tell them, say, hey, I need some time off. Hey, I need a break. You know, I'm getting burnt out. Most time, whenever you say you're getting burnt out, these people, they'll give you, hey, well, run here, drop that load, take you a day or two there, and then we'll start again next week. Don't just keep going. Don't just keep going until you get so burnt out that you're not going to be able to push forward. So all of this in short, do your research on your companies. Ask for more money. More money is not necessarily a raise on your pay scale. More money is more miles. You know, hey, give me a shot, and just push through the aggravation. Talk to people to get out of the boredom and learn your way through this trucking world. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about some really good ways to protect your CDL, because your dispatcher's not going to protect it, your supervisor's not going to protect it, the shippers and the receivers are not. All they want is their stuff moved. They don't care about your CDL. So I'm going to talk about some things that you need to look at as far as taking care of your CDLs, and how planning is important on doing that. Thank you for watching. I hope you get something out of this. If you have any questions, comment below. I'll answer them whenever I'm not driving. But thank you for watching. Have a great day. See you in the next video.